Welcome to the Marketing Execution Podcast. This is the show for tech founders and leaders building B2B products and technologies. We show you how to go further, faster to get the business results you need.
From strategies to big exec dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
In B2B tech sales and marketing, effective communication with your highest value prospects and targets can significantly impact your success. Yet, many executives and leaders in tech companies today struggle to connect their innovative ideas with their audience. Today, we dive into how to master the art of communication by exploring John C. Maxwell's 16 undeniable laws. You'll discover a proven framework for enhancing your speaking skills, including how to build authentic connections, prepare impactful presentations, and engage your audience effectively. From my experience scaling tech startups to create a total value of more than $500 million in revenues and shareholder value, we'll examine actionable strategies that lead to measurable outcomes. Subscribe to the Marketing Execution Podcast for weekly insights on scaling tech companies. Now let's listen to Tim and Lisa discussing their biggest takeaways and surprises from the book, 16 Laws of Communication.
Ever feel like, you've got this killer point you want to make, but it just falls flat?
No, I've been there. It's like you're speaking a different language, even when you think you're being crystal clear.
And we're diving deep into that communication puzzle today with John C. Maxwell's 16 undeniable laws of communication, right?
Absolutely. This guy, he's like the Yoda of communication, spoken over 13,000 times, so he must be doing something right.
13,000. Okay, that's a lot of speeches. So what's his secret sauce?
It's interesting. He actually focuses less on crafting the perfect words and more on the speaker themselves.
So it's more about unlocking your inner charisma than memorizing a bunch of scripts.
You got it. He talks about becoming unignorable, and it all starts with connection. Forget the perfect speech and just focus on genuinely connecting with the person in front of you.
So less like giving a presentation and more like, chatting with a friend at a coffee shop.
Yeah. You're present, engaged, there's that back and forth. Maxwell actually suggests ditching the podium altogether. Get closer to your audience. It shows you care,
I see you. You're not just a face in the crowd. I like it.
And that ties into this thing called the halo effect. Even just one positive trait, like genuine focus on your audience, it can make people more receptive to everything else you say. But it's not just about showing up authentically, right?
There's got to be some substance there too, right? You can't just smile and hope for the best.
Exactly. Maxwell's big on living your message. Imagine giving a talk about organization, but your notes are a disaster.
Total credibility killer.
Yeah, 100%. That's why becoming a true expert in your topic, putting in the work, it shows. But here's a curveball. Maxwell suggests that revealing a past mistake, something you messed up related to your topic, can actually build credibility.
Now, that sounds counterintuitive. Why would you air your dirty laundry like that?
2 reasons. 1, it makes you relatable.
Right,
Nobody's perfect. And 2, it shows a deeper level of understanding, right? You learned from those mistakes.
So it's like, hey, I've been there, messed up, and come out stronger on the other side. That's powerful.
And that feeds into Maxwell's emphasis on lifelong learning. You're never done growing as a communicator.
So ditch the idea of the natural speaker. It's a skill you hone, just like anything else. What are some ways we can actually do that?
Maxwell has this cool idea of a communication swipe file. It's like a collection of communication gold, quotes, stories, things that resonate with you.
Oh, I love that. So you're always on the lookout, gathering inspiration.
Exactly. That billboard you saw in your commute could spark your next great presentation. It's about being open to those unexpected bursts of insight. So yeah, ditch the pressure of being the perfect speaker, embrace your authentic self, and never stop learning. So we've talked about, that inner game of becoming an unignorable communicator, but what about the message itself? How do we craft something that truly resonates?
Right, because we've all sat through those presentations where it's just like, what's the point? It's just all over the place.
And this is where Maxwell brings in the power of teamwork. He's all about brainstorming with a diverse group.
So ditch those solo brainstorming sessions where you're just talking to the dog.
Well, hey, sometimes the dog gives good feedback. But seriously, think about it. More perspectives, more angles, more ideas on the table. It's about sparking that creative energy.
Yeah, it's like having a brainstorming buddy system, right? Catch each other's blind spots.
Exactly. And here's a fun one. Don't be afraid to encourage a little healthy debate. Have your team poke holes in your arguments.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like a test run. Find the weak spots before you go live.
Exactly. That only makes the message stronger. Okay, but let's say you've got this killer message, right? How do you deliver it in a way that feels authentically you?
Yeah, because no one wants to sound like a robot up there.
And Maxwell would agree. He says, ditch the speaker persona. Lean into your natural communication style. He actually lays out these 4 speaker archetypes. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I love archetypes. Break it down for me.
So first, you've got the sincere soul. They connect by being vulnerable, sharing personal struggles.
Yeah, there's something so powerful about that. When you hear someone speak from the heart, it just hits different.
Right. Then you've got the humorous human. They use humor to connect, make the message memorable.
Laughter is the best medicine, and it makes learning more fun, that's for sure.
Totally. Okay, then we've got the helpful guide. They thrive on giving practical advice, actionable takeaways.
The here's what you can do today type of speaker. Love it.
And lastly, the inspiring force. They leave you feeling motivated, ready to take on the world.
So 4 distinct styles, each with its own strengths. How do you even begin to figure out which one resonates with you?
It's a good question. Think about the speakers you're naturally drawn to. What is it about them that you connect with?
That's a great point. I'm going to have to think about that. But okay, let's say you've got your style, you've brainstormed a message, you still need to structure it, right?
You got it. Think of it like building a house.
Yeah.
You need a solid framework before you start hanging pictures.
Otherwise, it's just chaos.
Exactly. That's where a crystal clear thesis statement comes in.
Right.
If you can't sum up your message in a sentence, your audience is going to be lost.
It's like a compass, right? Guiding everyone in the right direction.
Exactly. Then comes the organization of your supporting points. Use numbers, a recurring word, even try an acrostic, whatever helps people follow along.
As long as it's easy to digest. Nobody wants a presentation that feels like a logic puzzle.
And those transitions between points.
Yeah.
Super important. You don't want it to feel jarring. Think of it like a well-edited movie, those smooth transitions between scenes.
So using pauses, moving around the stage, changing up your vocal tone, things like that.
All of that. Now let's talk about engagement. Don't underestimate the power of visuals and stories.
Our brains love stories, right?
They're wired for them. So instead of just saying teamwork is important, share a story about a time when teamwork led to something amazing.
And visuals don't have to be boring PowerPoint slides. Get creative with it.
Exactly. Metaphors, props, anything to make it memorable. But here's the thing. Don't overcomplicate things. Maxwell has this great saying, speak to the 8th grader.
I love that. So keep it simple.
Simple and clear. Big words don't impress. They confuse. And you know what else he suggests? Creating catchy phrases that relate back to your message.
So they walk away with those little earworms stuck in their heads.
Exactly. Make it stick. But, delivering that message with impact, that's where things get really interesting.
All right, so we've talked about finding your voice, crafting that killer message, but then comes the moment of truth, right? Actually delivering it.
It's showtime. And Maxwell says mindset is everything. You got to believe in yourself, believe in your message.
Because if you don't believe it, why should they?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Confidence is contagious. When you stand up there, knowing your stuff, owning it, that energy, it's palpable.
Fake it till you make it.
Sometimes. But honestly, your audience wants to be there. They want to learn from you. Believing in them, believing in their capacity to get something out of this, that's huge.
So it's like this positive feedback loop, right? Their energy feeds your energy and it just builds from there.
Exactly. But what about those pre-speech jitters? Everyone gets them.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like stage fright has my phone number on speed dial.
Right. Maxwell would say, okay, acknowledge those nerves, then kick them to the curb. Power poses, visualization, they might seem silly, but hey, they work.
Mind over matter. But it's not just our internal state, right? We have to be adaptable to the room, the people in it.
Absolutely. Maxwell talks about being a communication chameleon. Read the room, adjust accordingly. Are people bored, energized? Tailor your delivery to meet them where they're at.
So it's about being present, not just reading off a script like a robot.
Exactly. And that awareness extends to the speaking environment itself. Scope out the venue beforehand, the lighting, the sound, even the seating arrangement. It all matters.
Setting the stage for a killer performance.
I like it. But what happens when, despite your best efforts, you sense that energy dipping?
Yeah, every speaker needs a game plan for those moments.
Maxwell's got you covered. Q&A time, always a classic. Get people talking, interacting with the material, or try the element of surprise.
Okay, like what? Pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
Maybe not that drastic, but you get the idea. A personal story, a prof, something to re-engage their attention.
Sometimes the most powerful tool is just silence.
Absolutely. The power of the pause. It creates drama, emphasizes a point, lets things sink in.
It's like those moments in a song, right? The silence makes the music that comes after even more powerful.
Beautifully said. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to this inspiring action. Don't just talk at people. Give them something they can actually use.
Walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Exactly. And Maxwell, he's big on the power of personal stories. Show, don't tell. When you demonstrate how you've applied these principles in your own life, it's relatable, it's inspiring.
It's like you're saying, hey, this stuff works. I'm living proof.
Right. And paint a picture of the future. Help them envision what's possible if they take action.
But sometimes, even with the best intentions, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, right? Like, where do I even start?
And that's why Maxwell always brings it back to that first step. What's one small thing you can do today? Just one.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive on John C. Maxwell, one small step for our listeners. What's one thing they can do today to become more unignorable communicators?
Start that communication swipe file we talked about. Jot down a story that you could weave into your next presentation. Just pick one thing and run with it.
Because even the most epic journeys start with a single step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
This was great. And to our listeners, keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep those messages coming. Until next time.
The Marketing Execution Podcast is produced by Growth Stage Marketing. We are on a mission to see your company reach wild success using marketing pods.
Too big, accept dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Thank you for listening and being a part of the marketing execution movement and community. To learn how growth stage marketing clients reach more buyers and drive business impact, go to growthstage.marketing. That's growthstage.marketing.